What's this? All right, now that we back, we out here fishing again. You can follow me over here. We got this pole has a night crawler on it. It's got my rod holders that are self-setting hooks. So I'll demonstrate for you real quick, even though there ain't no fish on it. Let's say a fish pulls hard enough. This is what happens, self-setting. So that's how that works. All right. Okay, let's see if I've been bit by anything. This worm's been out here for a minute. It's a nice day, like 73 degrees. Had the sonar out there. The water's like 70 degrees or something like that. Out there in the middle area, it's like 6 feet deep. And as you see, that thing ain't been touched. But that's all right. It's gonna get touched sooner or later. Let's reset our rod holder here. Yeah. Tighten the line up a little bit and set the. There you go. That's how that works. Now we also out here. I got a couple other poles. Only brought night crawlers and artificial bait. I got the blue and black jig on here right now. Been fishing it earlier down this way here. If you look down here by this waterfall, there's a waterfall back there. And the water, there's a lot of rocks and weeds just sitting there. So I lost quite a few, like one Texas rig, quite a few wacky rigs, and I do believe, and one spinnerbait. So I said I was done with that. And didn't catch not one fish. Haven't caught one fish today at all. So we're gonna get back to talking about trucking. And what it took, and about as far as everyday four-wheelers, meaning cars versus truck drivers. I want to get into talk about how, like, if a truck driver is driving in a lane, when you decide you need to get in that lane or whatever the case may be, pull forward about 4 or 5 car lengths and then try to merge into traffic. Don't jump over a car length in front of that truck. Say you jump over, car in front of you hits the brakes, getting wrecked, lose a tire, whatever the case may be. You slamming your brakes. You got 80,000 pounds of truck coming in behind you. It's not going to stop in the car length. It's going to take a whole football field. So if you slam on brakes, try not to hit that car that's in front of you, that truck is going to ply you into that car in front of you. So give the truck driver space. You know how the old saying, don't crowd the plow? Don't crowd the truck driver. Because I'm guarantee you, you're not going to survive it. And driving on the highway, street, whatever the case may be. Let's talk about streets, intersections with no lights, and you're backways. You know, you're supposed to, if anything, you're supposed to be looking ahead, seeing everything's going on. You look ahead, you see that truck driver. He's sitting at the intersection, turn signal on, waiting to turn. He can't just pull out anywhere like you real fast. He needs the time and the space to pull out. Give it to him. Slow down. Stop even. Give the truck driver a little courtesy. Let him out. Help him out a little bit. There are so many times I have sat at an intersection for 5 minutes or more watching this traffic go by. Nobody wants to let you out. Everybody thinks you just pull out just like you. First of all, you're not 9 feet long. you're 72 feet long. So I just can't pull out into an intersection like that, like a car can. I got to ensure I got enough distance and enough cleared space to turn out in front of traffic. So that's one thing. Help a brother out, help a truck driver out. You know, because the one thing you would hate to do is get to the store and they out of a certain product because the truck driver's been in an accident down the street because nobody gave him the courtesy. And he's trying to force himself into a situation that he shouldn't be forcing himself into. He or she, I'm sorry, he or she. Them, they, however you categorize yourself. But for all intents and purposes, I don't use pronouns. I just stopped at 55 years, well, I'll be 55 May. That ain't how I grew up. So if you look for pronouns, it ain't gonna happen. Okay, so let's get back to fishing. Woo, that's a good catch. I'm damn all the way across the thing. So, what else about trucking? Now this is about how you get, the different cargoes a truck driver carries. Truck driver carries anything, and this means anything in between toilet tissue to complex medical equipment. Gas, food, cattle, chemicals, anything, everything. Truck driver hauls it. Because you can only get so much freight to the dock on a ship or to the train yard with a train. To get it to the store or the factory to make the product, you need the truck. So that's why truck drivers are in so demand. It's so much freight to move around the world that there's a high demand for truck drivers. Now, when I say you can make six figures in trucking, I do mean you can make six figures in trucking, but depending on your area that you live in. The cost of living is different in different places. I live here in Ohio, Central Ohio, basically, and I work in Central Ohio. I live in South Central Ohio, but I do work in Central Ohio, and the cost of living is higher, so the pay is higher. Now, other places I heard Florida, the cost of living ain't so high, so the pay ain't so high. I don't think they pay state taxes or something down there. Here, you pay state taxes here. So, yes, you can make well over six figures. Now, owner ops, they make. I'm not an owner op, never been. I talked to a few, so I don't know all the logistics. But owner ops, they make $300,000-$400,000. But the kicker is, owner op means you don't run that business. You pay your own health care, you pay your own retirement, you pay to get that truck fixed, I guess you pay yourself sick time, vacation time. But if you take sick time, vacation time, and you're a one-man business, then your business ain't making no money. So it's hard for you to take a vacation. It's hard for you to call off sick. You got a truck payment, unless you filthy rich and just can go buy a truck. Because them trucks, $80,000, $90,000, $100,000. So owner op versus company driver. Owner op ain't for me because you got to do your taxes. Like, you got to manage your paper. You got to manage everything. So, and then when it all boils down to that, you pay everything, deduct everything's everything. You're probably making about the same as a company driver. Probably on the high-end company driver, but still, you make it about the same as a company driver. And a company driver has a whole lot less responsibility. So I'm not a big fan of owner op. I never do it. But people like to own their own shit. So I get it, I'm cool with working for a company. Granted, you got to follow different rules when you work for a company. You can't just be you can't do it owner op. Owner op makes his own rules. So you can't do that. What else do I want to talk about? Trucking. We're going to get into another career that I have been involved in that can potentially make six figures. Mind you, I've never been full-time in this career, I'm part-time, but that next career, and we're going to talk about it. I'm going to speak on it a little bit right now. That next career is a firefighter paramedic. And it takes a lot more school to be a firefighter paramedic. But let's talk about it. Okay. Now to start off, how you get into firefighting for one? Everybody thinks you gotta go to a big city, take the civil service test, hopefully get selected for an interview, hopefully get hired. There are so many fire departments out there. So many. The township fire departments, the village fire departments. Oh man, there are so many little tiny city fire departments. But they are not as financed as a big city like, I'm gonna use Columbus, Ohio, because that's what I know. I know Columbus, Ohio. Like Columbus, Ohio. They gonna pay your training, pay your schooling, everything. You get hired on there, they paying everything. Smaller departments don't have that luxury. So what you would have to do is find a vocational school, or maybe in your area, the high school. If you're young enough, you're still in high school and you're watching this video and you think about becoming a firefighter, some high schools have vocational programs that offer firefighting training and EMT training. So I was looking at that. It's usually a vocational school. A community college may have it, like here in Ohio or in my area. A couple of vocational schools have fire service training. We have the Ohio Fire Academy here, and we have Columbus State Community College that also offers the fire training program. After that, I think it's I don't know how you do it now. 1 quarter, 1 semester. I'm old, so I don't know which one we're working with these days. But it takes one of them to complete the fire training course. So about 4 months, 3-4 months, whatever, however that works. And then that don't get you in the door just yet. In Ohio, that won't get you in the door. Most Ohio departments are dual certified departments, meaning you have to have your fire card and your EMT card just to get in the door as a part-timer, sometimes a volunteer. And so a lot of community schools and a lot of community colleges and vocational schools also offer this EMT program. I don't know the cost of any of this, so it's been years since I had to do any of this. So you do that. You get your EMT, you get your fire card. You can go to all the townships around your area. Most big cities, you won't have a part-time staff on them big cities. Smaller cities may or may not have a part-time staff. Some townships may or may not have part-time staff. As I've noticed here recently, a lot of departments who years ago when I was young and first trying to get into firefighting didn't have part-time, have part-time now. So that gets you in the door. That don't get you full-time at most departments here in Ohio. Some departments in Ohio will get you a full-time job, providing you agree in so much time frame to get your paramedic certification. But most departments require you to have that paramedic certification. Like the last department I came from, or I just resigned from, you had to have your paramedic certification to even be considered for full-time work. That being said, you go to paramedic school, and this is high intense education, and it's, I think, a fast pace. I know it takes anywhere from 18 to 24 months to get your paramedic certification. You have a lot of school. You got a lot of oh, what's that called? Let's just say volunteer. I can't remember what the word is, but you got to go so many hours at the hospital, so many hours at the fire station or medic to obtain your medic card. You have so many hours as an EMT you got to do on the at a fire station on the medic as well, but nowhere near what you got to do for paramedic. And so you get your paramedic card, and then you can actually get hired. And it's usually you get hired in. I think most jobs around Ohio start at $75,000-$80,000 somewhere around there, and you usually have a step program, 3 to 5 years, and you may reach top pay. And top pay is over $100,000 or better in a lot of departments. But not all, not even in Ohio, not even all of them in Ohio pay over $100,000. But there are some that pay over $100,000. So this is another career field that you can get into and make over six figures with no college degree. I mean, you got a lot of school you got to go to, but you won't have that college tuition debt, so to speak. Nowhere near it. As far as me, I was part-time. I got my fire card in 1989, my EMT in 1990, my first one. 1991, I got my first part-time firefighting job. I had to resign from that job a couple months later, about 6, 7 months later, because I was young and dumb. I'm gonna just say it, young and dumb, and I followed myself right out of a career. I got in trouble with the law, and had to resign. Fast forward 20 years later, 20 something years, I have 40 something years old. I decided I wanted to try it again. I didn't have to go to the fire school again. I just had to take an online firefighting course on 24/7. That's what it's called, 24/7, I do believe. And they let me reinstate my fire card. Even, well, I get with that. That's a whole different conversation I have about my criminal status. So after that, I volunteered for a little bit, and a chief at a department I worked said, "Stacy, why don't you?" Because I wasn't going to get my EMT card. I didn't want to have nothing to do with the EMS. I never did like the EMS. I just wanted to be a firefighter. But like I said, the world has changed. There's a lot less fires and a lot more sick, injured people out there. So, like the fire department, that's another thing. Let me say this right now, right off the rip. If you think about getting in the fire service to fight fires, change your career. You're not going to fight a lot of fires in the fire service. Construction has changed, and electronics has changed, where houses don't burn like they used to. Not like 30 years ago, 30 something years ago, when I first got in fire service, things burned a lot. Houses burned, and they took a lot longer to burn because they was built with different construction. The construction now we have houses getting built with are much more susceptible to flame, much more susceptible to heat. So they burn a lot faster, quicker. Fire departments don't have a lot of time inside a home anymore. If they pull up and the house is too far gone, they can't go in, because the structures may collapse on them. So you're not going to get a lot of fires. You will get a lot of EMS. So if you think about fire department, as a career, understand you will not be fighting a lot of fires. You will be primarily doing a lot of EMS calls. Uh-oh. I don't even know where that went. I don't know how that happened. I just threw my jig off. So you know where we're gonna go now? We're gonna go with, let's go with the wacky rig. We're gonna set that up. Our pole over here still ain't been touched. What else can we talk about? Well, I think I'm gonna get back to trucking myself, because that's what I do now. I mean, I get back to firefighting in a minute. If you have any questions, ask me. I can tell you I was a firefighter. Oh yeah, I was a part-time firefighter for the second time for 9 years. Yeah, I do believe it was 9 years, and I had a great time. I had a great time. The reason I got out, uh, first of all, I'm turning 55 this year. Getting a little tired. Like I said, I wasn't a big fan of EMS, which did a lot of EMS work. So I stopped scheduling myself, because you had, at the department I worked at, you could schedule yourself, you know. And there was a lot of part-time, so it was really hard to schedule. It wasn't that I stopped scheduling myself. It was hard to schedule myself on the days that I could work, especially with my full-time job. So we got a new chief. He basically said, "Oh, I lost my stuff." Oh well. He came in. He sent an email out, which I missed because I'm a truck driver, and like I said in the previous video, my company is a zero tolerance cell phones. Zero. You pick that cell phone up while you're driving, you will be immediately fired. So of course I missed a couple of emails, and so I didn't respond to some crucial emails about work. The one I did see, I responded to. Well, I didn't respond to. I did what he said, but it was a little too late. There was no correspondence with me and the new chief. He didn't know me from Adam. So I can only speculate. I ain't gonna speculate. I don't know what he thought. But he asked for my resignation. And one thing about me, once you do that, I'm not saying nowhere I ain't want it. Flat out. Once you did that,